Nation on X. Piracy Shield is now fully functional in Italy. This comes from Wired magazine online. And I went to go look for it, and I found this on Reddit. An Italian law made some weeks ago introduced a Piracy Shield bot that blocks websites that promote piracy. Yesterday, it blocked, and I'm not joking, Google Drive. Guys, why is this all happening at the same time? This is like, I'm not even searching for this stuff for these news stories. These news stories are finding me all at the same time in a 2 to 3 week period. Everything all at once. Apparently, it's the latest craze to just block and censor everything. And this is the article from Wired Italy, which is translated from Italian to English. So bear with me as we go through it. Piracy Shield, the national anti-piracy platform, must now also block pirated films, music, and TV series. I'm going to guess it's going to also block pirated video games, guys. I'm just going to go out on a limb on that one. The tool wanted in Italy for the automatic blocking of pirated content will be able to act within 30 minutes, also on cinema and music, despite criticism from the European Union on its compatibility with its rules. Oh, God. This is hysterical. Now we have two different nations coming together with two different rule sets clashing on the internet. You can't make this shit up. Piracy Shield has definitely exited its experimental phase and is poised to become the primary tool for combating audiovisual piracy in Italy. The Italian Communications Regulatory Authority, or the AGCOM, approved on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, amendments to the regulation on online copyright. Ready for this, guys? I know it's going to come as a shock. Significantly expanding the platform's scope of action. Boy, that really sounds like a slippery slope when we talk about rules coming into play. Oh, yeah, we just wanted to come in and do this one thing. Oh, but now it's getting passed. We're going to actually have it do a few more things before it comes through. We're going to just make sure everything is good. The decision, ratified by the Authorities Council and officially announced on Thursday, August 1st, extends dynamic injunctions to all owners of live events, including, for the first time, films, television, and music, in its list of materials that can be automatically blocked within 30 minutes of notification. So this means there is something crawling the internet in Italy, searching everything, basically being what YouTube has to copyright anything immediately if it finds a match. So there's no way that you could have anything on the internet that doesn't go without being found. This is just going to start pushing everyone to the dark web. This is crazy how much overreach that they're doing with this, as previously anticipated by Wired in recent months. The axe falls on the Pizzotto. It says they were released by Guardia di Finanza, which is enforcing the 2023 law against illegal streaming. So you see how this goes. Now I'm talking about how the other day we talked about how 2023, there were laws being put into place in the UK and all that same time, same scope. In the USA, there was stuff happening coming out of COVID too. Here we have in Italy, in the same time period as well, in 2023, laws getting passed around that. Now the second phase is being implemented in 2025, and they're all working together to push the second phase right now. Right in front of people, the audacity of it. The evolution of the anti-piracy system. Piracy Shield is no longer just a tool against illegal streaming of sports events. Of course it's not, because what it went in to intend to do is now being expanded to block everything else. Big shock there, big shock. You wonder why people say we don't want anything, because once you start banning stuff, then it becomes this overreach, massive overreach to block everything. As Agosium wanted, it has become broader. It has become a broader platform designed to address all copyrighted content. This was primarily supported by trade associations. Of course it was. During its December 2024 meeting, FAPAV, the Federation representing audiovisual companies explicitly requested that the system be extended to films and TV series, emphasizing the serious economic damage caused by piracy. It's a tale as old as time. Music industry, movie industry. Oh, it's damaging economically. It's so catastrophic. The piracy that's running rampant. We're losing hundreds of trillions of dollars every second that goes by because of piracy, or give or take. That's what they approach it with, assuming that anyone that pirates anything would have instead paid full price for the item that they pirated, which no, many times people pirate things because it's a better version of what they already own, and they just want to have more flexibility with it that isn't allowed by the original rights provided to them when they purchased it the first time. Think about that, by the way. The new provisions will allow access to illegally distributed content to be disabled during the first 30 minutes of live broadcasts of events, film premieres, entertainment programs, and similar music works. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now that I already see what's going to happen next in this. This is one of those, if it's successful in Italy, other countries are going to look at this and try to implement the same exact system, which is why it's very concerning. And it's twofold, because they're not mentioning video games here at all. They're just talking about live things and movies being played and streaming. Just wait until they start extending it further. That's the greater concern here, which is already a monumental concern with what this is doing. The technical system works in two ways. First, it prevents the domain name, the DNS, the system that translates web addresses into numbers that computers can understand, from doing its job. Second, it blocks traffic to IP addresses used primarily for illegal activities. What determines an illegal activity, by the way? That's the other concern, is because that they start making things illegal after these things get in place, and then what used to be fine turns into, oh, you can't do that anymore now that we have a way to block it. However, several experts have already reported that the system lacks effective protections to prevent it from also blocking legitimate services. And of course, they rolled it out without making sure that it wouldn't block Google Drive. Or in this case, this happened, for example, with some Cloudflare networks. And on one occasion, YouTube and Google Drive were left inaccessible to millions of Italian users. Holy shit. You get what you deserve. Could you imagine the shit show behind the scenes when that happened? Oh my God. Furthermore, the new regulation no longer limits the sanctions to platforms that host illegal content. Oh, no longer limit. Wasn't I just saying this right before we got here? No longer limits its sanctions to platforms that host illegal content or manage online traffic, but also extends to other technical services that enable access to that content. These include VPNs, public DNSs, and search engines. Holy shit, that's the internet. The goal is to involve all online players who, even indirectly, enable access to pirated content and make it more difficult for users to circumvent the blocks using alternative tools. This strengthening of the system comes alongside increased penalties because, of course, it's always about the money. For those who view or download illegal content, a proposed law by the Brothers of Italy and the League aims, oh my God, it's times like these where I'm embarrassed to be an Italian, guys. And the League aims to triple fines, which could reach up to 16,000 euros. This hard line has drawn criticism, do you think so? From some digital rights groups concerned about the risk of treating ordinary users as criminals. And you bet your ass they're going to do that as soon as they get the chance to. Don't you remember a few weeks ago, we covered a story with that Italian that was reviewing the Ambernick portable game systems and is now facing jail time for reviewing the Ambernick that he bought on Amazon, because they're not arresting anyone in China. They're arresting him for buying it because it may have contained illegal ROMs on it. That's Italy right now. I thought the UK was bad. Holy crap. Tensions with the European Union. The strengthening of Piracy Shield has created tensions between Italian authorities and the European Commission, which, by the way, absolutely hysterical. I love to see it. What a shit show. They're like, no, we're going to govern these people harder. No, we're going to govern them harder. And we're going to go our direction. No, we're going our direction with governing them harder. Like, fuck all y'all. Which in June 2025 sent a formal letter to Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani to express doubts about the system's compliance with the Digital Services Act, European regulation that establishes the rules for digital services and the management of illegal content online. The new Italian regulation attempted to adapt the previous 2013 rules to the provisions of the DSA and the amendments introduced to the omnibus decree to the anti-piracy law. However, according to the Commission, the system may still not fully comply with key principles such as transparency, proportionality, and the protection of users' rights, especially since the DSA does not provide national authorities to issue blocking orders without a clear European legal basis. Holy crap, what a mess this is. Holy crap. European primary concern, the system's ability to block pirated content, which, according to Brussels, fails to strike a fair balance between the fight against piracy and the right to freedom of expression and information. For these very reasons, on May 21st, 2025, the Computer and Communications Industry, the CCIA, which represents major technology companies such as Apple and Google, also filed a formal complaint with the Commission alleging possible violations of the DSA and the internet neutrality rules. I'm telling you guys, you're in a rough spot when you're cheering on Apple and Google to save you. What a shit show this is. I never thought I'd be in a position where I'm like, go Apple, go Google, stop them. Another point of concern for both the European Commission and some companies concerns a potential conflict of interest with the developer of Piracy Shield, which, by the way, who makes Piracy Shield? What's their connection to the people in governmental legal positions of authority? And how much money is being made here? SP Tech, a company controlled by the Previti law firm on behalf of Liga Serie A. This company stands to benefit directly from anti-piracy measures as it owns or holds exclusive rights to many sporting events. The truth shall set you free. This has raised questions about the impartiality of the platform's management. Of course, if they are trying to do this for their own personal agenda, of course they're going to push it forward and say, yeah, it's for the betterment of society. No, you want to make more money. Despite this, AgCom defended the system, citing Commissioner Massimiliano Capitiano, representing Liga, who stated that he saw no weakening of the system and reiterated that Italy remains at the forefront in the fight against illegal streaming. The regulation, approved despite the dissenting vote of one of AgCom's commissioners, Elisa Giamatti, oh, she's a hero, must now be examined by the European Union to ensure its full compliance with EU regulations. Guys, what an absolute mess. I think this is hysterical that they're fighting against each other to see who can govern the people harder. It's insane. That's insane. And don't think for a second that this isn't going to make its way around the world after successful implementation somewhere else. It's coming, guys. It's coming. That's why it's important to point this stuff out, call this shit out as soon as you see it, and say, hell no, we do not want this on the internet. Get it the fuck out of here. Sorry. Done with it. I'm telling you, we have enjoyed freedom on the internet over the past 30 years that I have a genuine concern we will never see again in the future of humanity. The beginning, the Wild West of the internet, it sounds like I might even agree with Asmongold on this one. It's inevitable the way they keep pushing all this stuff forward. What isn't inevitable, though? The United States, because they always seem to have a way to push back and say, hell no, we're not going to fall for that. We're not doing that. Don't let me down, US. Please, please. Anyways, I'll leave that one there.